but it's still legal to talk about my Jesus in the public place. The night is coming, people, when no man can work. The way things are going, it may soon be illegal. The night is coming, my friend, when no man can work. I'll work the work of him that sent me while it is day now. Rise, oh sleeping soldier, rise and take your place again. I am inviting you today to be a part of our refreshing culture, to be a part of the wonderful, great experience that we have in our kingdom. I'm talking about kingdom culture. My name is Buchi, and I welcome you to yet another edition of our time with the Spirit of God, looking through the way we live our lives in the kingdom. Yes, I recall a song I hear mostly at funerals. A song I think should be a daily devotion. A song I think we should sing to ourselves every now and then. Not only when people are being buried. You know the song that says, only remembered would be remembered, would be remembered by works we have done. Da 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 da. Only remembered by what we have done. How would you be remembered? Songs that when people think of it, they begin to grieve and mourn. But really, I think differently. I think that these are the questions that should play over and over in our hearts as we live our lives. How would you be remembered? Today, I recalled earlier today sweet memories of a friend of mine, one who encouraged me in the faith. I think I stayed too long in the world. I wish I got born again a lot earlier. But when I came, I met a man who was younger than myself, but rooted, I think, in the things of God, rooted in the culture of Christ. Stanley Okafor. How could I forget? He was the one who taught me that I could bear the title brother. Because I came in arguing that if you are my brother, I need not call you brother Christian, brother Hope, brother Shegun. If you're my sister indeed, I need not call you sister Stella. My relationship with you, my attitude to you, should reveal that I am a brother to you. I didn't think it was supposed to be a title. But Stanley said, no, it is in our kingdom to do so. He said to me, there are things for which we are known in the kingdom. He said to me, our kingdom is a real kingdom. Our community is a real community with our own value system. And this is the way we do it. So I would argue and call him Stanley. He would say, Brother Buchi. I'd go, Stanley. He'd say, Brother Buchi. Stanley, Brother Buchi. He continued until I began to imbibe the things of the kingdom, the culture of our kingdom. Yes, I remember him as someone who made such a strong impact on me. How could I ever forget? On this day that Pastor had a program, we had a program in church. We had met in church on Sunday morning, and then to have another special meeting in the evening. In between, I didn't want to go home and then return, so I decided to stay back in church until evening. And so I went early to the venue of the evening program and met a lot of people cleaning the chairs, sweeping, and I thought to myself, why were they doing this? Didn't they have their homes to go back to? Were they paid by the church to do all this? And my friend said to me, no. They are called of God to do what they're doing. Really? Called of God to sweep the church? to clean the chairs? Yes, he said to me. Indeed, somewhere in the restrooms, cleaning the toilets for people to use. And you say someone is called of God to do that? He said, yes, absolutely. I didn't think it was the right way to think about God, because in my understanding of God, limited, yes, I thought that if God spoke to you, you would dissolve into thin air. I thought that if you heard the voice of God, if God spoke to you, you would melt like wax. I had that idea of God, not as one who could live in a man, speak to a man. But my friend, through my interaction with him, taught me that I could relate with God one-on-one on a daily, indeed hourly basis. He often said, God told me to start a dry cleaning business. Or he would say, God has told me, or God has said to me. God said, the Lord said, God said, the Lord said. And I would often go, my friend, I think you're trivializing God. I think you're taking this thing too far. But this friend of mine, Stanley Okafor, I'll never forget, taught me not only to add brother when I address people in church, but to have a real day-to-day relationship with God where I could ask him what he would have me do in life, why he called me. And I could ask God what he would have me study, or should I change this song? Should I do it this way? Should I do it this way? He taught me to have a real relationship with God. What would you be remembered for? Many times I imagine that as God looks at us, God sees someone who is unbelieving of the word. And he says, oh, I have my son here. If only I could make him, the unbelieving one, pass through here. This person, my son, my believing son, would speak to this one about Jesus. And so when God makes people's paths cross ours, it is with the confidence that having revealed himself to us and in us, we would speak to them about Christ. God is confident that when that man comes to you, maybe as a bank customer, maybe as a customer in the market, maybe as a tenant, maybe as a friend or a fellow passenger in a vehicle traveling, God is confident that when these people cross our paths, we would leave a deposit of him in the lives of those people. How so disappointed he must be when we come across people and we shake their hands and greet them and part ways without impacting their lives, without leaving something in them, without sharing Christ with them. It is God's hope that when we meet these people, the people that we meet every day in our lives, we would deposit something of Christ in their lives. That's impact. What would you be remembered for? When you sit in church and you see the large congregation of people, do you ask yourself sometimes, like I do, how many people are seated here of the thousands of people in this hall or arena? How many people are here because I brought them, because I introduced them to Jesus? How many people are here because I shared Christ with them? Do you ask that question sometimes? I'm not talking about stage. I'm not talking about making a big song and it ministering to people. That's good, that's wonderful. But if you win souls only when you're on stage, if you win souls only when you're on the pulpit preaching, you may not be much different from an actor, because soul winning ought to be a part of you. What happens on stage should be from what happens in the closet, what happens in our everyday lives. How would you be remembered? My friend, I remembered him today. My friend is remembered by me and by, who knows, by some other people as one who taught, who led me by the hand and taught me the ways of the kingdom. My pastor taught me. I took the words of my pastor. I understood the words of my pastor. The Spirit of God gave me interpretation. Yes, as I turned from church and went about my everyday life, someone was there to guide me and say, no, don't call that Pastor Kingsley. No. Call him Pastor Kingsley. Don't call him Kingsley. He's a pastor. And I'd go, must I include the title? He says, yes. Don't call him Kingsley. I said, he's my friend. I knew him before he became a pastor. He said, it doesn't matter. That's what he would say to me. Yet call him Pastor Kingsley. He taught me those things. What would you be remembered for? Only remembered, only remembered, only remembered by what we have done. And again I go, la, 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 la. Only remembered by what we have done. And I say, it shouldn't be sung at funerals only. It should be sung to ourselves as a devotional song. Something that we carry with us every day as we go. A consciousness that we will leave this place soon, someday, soon. And after we have left, even if we're leaving no one behind, can't we gather around in heaven and replay the activities of earth? When I would say to my friend Stanley, yo, you taught me that. Yo, you put me through this. Yo, you gave me a clear understanding of this. Oh, how I would have missed it if you hadn't told me this or that. How would you be remembered? Every day, God gives us opportunities to come across people in our workplaces, in our schools, in church, on the street. God gives us opportunities daily to meet with people. What do you leave with them? He expects us to leave with them a deposit of Christ, a word about Jesus. That's what he expects. But how many times have we fought with the people that God brought our way so we can minister to them? How many times have we argued with them? How many times have we even entered wrong relationships with them? People that God brought our way so that we would influence them. And God would be there watching. I say, yes, 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 yes. When he goes to this place, I have my son there. He's going to talk to him about Christ. And then he comes in and the son shakes his hands. Maybe he gets into a football argument or a political argument. And there goes the opportunity. Everyone would eventually believe. But how many would believe because of you? In hell, there would be no unbelievers. There would be only late believers in hell. Only late believers. No one would come to hell and still not believe. There would be no unbeliever in hell. Everyone would eventually believe. How many people would believe the gospel in good enough time to make it to heaven because of you? Think about it. How would you be remembered? God bless you.
Thank God it's still legal to talk about my Jesus in the public place. The night is coming, people, when no man can work. The way things are going, it may soon be illegal. The night is coming, my friend, when no man can work. I'll work the work of him that sent me while it is day. Rise, oh sleeping soldier, rise